Welcome to Release to Results. This is the Course in Miracles series, going through the Course in Miracles workbook one lesson at a time, letting go of all the resistances and the refusals of these ideas that the Course presents. We've been through 140 lessons now, or maybe just one. Whether you take just one lesson and use it to release all the way to the being that you are and your function and the fulfillment of that, being the light of the world, the Son of God, and bringing peace to all minds through your forgiveness. You take any one of these lessons and release to the being that you are and what you're here to do. Or maybe you take a few of them and just go through a few of them. Maybe you go through all of them. I've been through the course a few times, and it just gets deeper and deeper and deeper. Some of the lessons, like these reviews that we're coming into now, there's some core ideas here that just one of them could allow you to enlighten yourself all the way to the truth and freedom of what you are. In these reviews, it's suggested that my mind holds only what I think with God. And then there's a couple of ideas for review that are presented. Once I have created a clean space for those ideas to enter in and to stir, what we think about happens. So what better thoughts could we have to happen than these ideas that we think with God? So today I'm really just going to let go of anything that would obscure the thoughts that we think with God. Some of the defenses that we set up to prevent ourselves from being what we are. So we'll just do some letting go on all these thoughts that pop up that are perhaps far away from the truth of what is. The attack thoughts, the fear thoughts. Notice the defenses that you're setting up as if you're a body apart from this infinite power that is, and that you need defense, or that there's these other bodies that are threatening you, not doing what you think they should do. The guilting, the attacking, the fear, the defending. Today, my mind holds only what I think with God, and I will release the rest. And it takes what it takes. There can be a lot of energy, a lot of darkness that's kind of hanging around and obscuring the light of what you are. So just simply allowing any of that darkness to come to the light, allowing any of these negative feelings to come up and come out. Notice the wanting to stuff it down and wanting to remain in darkness. Keep that around, because it can seem from a limited viewpoint, a lower perception, as if this stuff is necessary for survival, which Course in Miracles says is guaranteed. Your eternal life, you being as you were created like God. I will remain as God created me. So let's do some releasing and just notice what would come into your mind. And is it holding only what you think with God? Or is it holding what the world has told you to think and value? We've had some lessons like, I will only value what is actually valuable. I will seek the truth alone. Notice what comes into your mind throughout the day. There can be hundreds, thousands of thoughts other than those of light and presence and being and the salvation of the world through your forgiveness. Let's just allow anything to come up to this light that we are and dissolve. Let's begin. My mind holds only what I think with God. And that's all that's asked, is to be present and available and open your mind to only what you think with God. And could you open up and allow anything that's coming up? So rather than fighting these thoughts that come up and would take you away from presence, from your being, could you just notice anything that comes up? The thoughts of what you have to do today, tomorrow, what happened in the past, anything that comes up, could you allow it up and then just let it drift by and notice any energy that's being carried, any feeling that would have you frantically thinking. All that chattering, could you just let it drift by and notice the feeling behind all these noises, sounds, and symbols that pass through the mind? And could you let that feeling come up? Bring that darkness to light. Let it be there for a moment without trying to change it, push it away, stuff it down, just letting it come up. And could you let go of that energy, that darkness? Lighten up. Would you let go? When could you let go of the energy behind all this thinkingness and have a mind which holds only what you think with God? You know, these thoughts that will generally be with feelings of peace, love, acceptance, forgiveness, presence. You'll know you're on some other thought than the thought you think with God when there's any fear, anger, guilt. And so rather than add guilt on top of it, condemning, judging, moralizing about the thoughts that come up that don't feel so good, could you just notice what comes up? My mind holds only what I think with God. And yet these thoughts, they keep popping up that don't feel so good. I feel heavy rather than light. And so can you just notice anything that comes up for you? To let it up and to release it, that you may have a clear mind. So behind any thoughts that pop up that would disturb your clarity and your presence, without getting into analysis and where did this come from and what does it mean, could you simply just notice the energy behind such thinking? Nothing to judge, criticize, or moralize about. Could you bring up this feeling behind all those thoughts and allow it to come up just for now? And could you just be surrendering this energy, those thoughts, anything that's coming up for you, the wanting to change the feeling? Could you just be surrendering? Could you allow what seems to be happening and turning it over to God? That means maybe this feeling goes, maybe it stays. Just letting go and letting God, whatever seems to be arising in your consciousness. Could you surrender the thoughts you think as a separate, seemingly separate being, body, mind? Would you surrender this energy behind all those thoughts that would attempt to convince you you're separate? When could you surrender? You will never be forced to. When could you? Now, later, never? Could you surrender the thoughts of separation and hold in mind only that which you think with God? Holy, one, atoned, at one, as was meant and always will be. We do this course not because we've finished the course. It's here until the course is complete. So it's okay if thoughts pop up. These thoughts of separation, of attack, of guilt, of right and wrong, and am I doing it right? Am I doing it wrong? Are they doing it right? Are they doing it wrong? So just notice any of the thoughts that come up to disturb your presence, your atonement, your mind holding only what you think with God. Suppressing them, repressing them, fearing them, judging them, condemning them. It just keeps them there. Could you allow these thoughts up, any thought, and notice how it feels? The feeling in the field when you're thinking thoughts of vain smallness, false humility, separation. And could you allow this darkness to come to light? Just let that feeling come up, sit with it, be aware of it, shine on it. Bring it to God. And could you just allow it to dissolve as you sit with it for a moment? And could you let go of this energy and all the thoughts that go with it and let God and the thoughts you think with God be in your mind? Would you let go of this energy? Anything that would obscure that which really is the truth, the thoughts you think with God. Just let them go. The other thoughts that would distract you, delay you, disturb you from being what you are. When could you let go of the energy that would perpetuate such thinking in endless cycles, to be present and hold only what you think with God in mind? And that's what all these next 10 lessons are about. It's just bringing your mind to clarity, to think only what you think with God. And could you allow yourself to just take these lessons for review and put them in your mind? These ideas are safe. Forgiveness is the key to happiness. My mind holds only what I think with God. And I think with God, forgiveness is the key to happiness. My mind holds only what I think with God. Forgiveness offers everything I want. My mind holds only what I think with God. Forgiveness is the key to happiness. Forgiveness offers everything I want. My mind holds only what I think with God. Anytime any thoughts of separation, attack, unforgiveness, guilting, fear, desires, any of these things come up to interfere with your presence with God, just releasing the energy behind them, letting go of those stories, and returning to this central idea. My mind holds only what I think with God. Remind yourself of this often today. My mind holds only what I think with God. And release the rest. Let it go. Surrender it if you will. You never have to. Taking the lessons, the ideas God has given you in these lessons, and allowing them to be held in your mind. And releasing the rest. Could you allow your mind to hold only what you think with God? Forgiveness is the key to happiness. Forgiveness offers everything I want. And so on through these reviews. My mind holds only what I think with God. Well done releasing. Thanks for joining us.